Hey, coin lovers! How's everyone doing today? Quick question, have you ever stumbled across an old penny in your couch cushions, looked at it, and thought, this thing's probably worth a few cents, nothing special? Well, hold on to your hats because today, we might just have a penny that could turn into big money. Yeah, I'm talking about a 2015 Lincoln penny, and believe it or not, this little copper guy is sitting pretty at a jaw-dropping value of $1.1 million. No, this isn't a joke. A penny from 2015, people, could actually be worth more than your car, your rent, or maybe even that latte you get every morning, and you know those things aren't cheap. So if you're sitting there thinking, wait, is my loose change actually worth a fortune? Well, this video is for you. Make sure to stick around, and let's dive into why this 2015 no mint mark penny might be your golden ticket. Now, I know what you're thinking, a 2015 penny? Isn't that way too recent to be worth anything? Well, let me tell you, this isn't your typical penny. It's a bit of a mystery, and you know what they say, when things are mysterious, they're worth checking out. You see, most pennies have a mint mark, like D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, but some sneaky ones don't. And that's where things get interesting. In 2015, a bunch of Lincoln pennies were struck with no mint mark at all, just a blank space where a mint mark should be. Now, normally, this would go unnoticed by most people, but there's a catch. These no mint mark pennies from 2015 turned out to be so rare that their value skyrocketed, especially when collectors started realizing just how unique they were. You may be asking, why are they so valuable? Well, it's because of rarity. The US Mint usually places a mint mark on coins to show where they were made. So, when one slips through the cracks, without a mint mark to tell us its origin, that's a mistake. And collectors love a good mistake. Think of it like finding an error in a comic book, a printing error. People are willing to pay big bucks for those. Here's a funny thing, I actually found a penny on the street last year, and just like everyone else, I thought it was junk. I mean, who doesn't toss a penny when it's not even shiny, right? But then, I remembered a story about how a guy found a rare penny, and bam! He made a fortune. I ran back, picked up the penny, and it was a 2015. With no mint mark. Now, before you get excited, mine was just a regular penny, nothing special. But that moment really made me think, what if so? Here's the deal with this particular penny, the one that could be worth a whopping $1.1 million. It's all about scarcity and condition. It's not just about finding a 2015 penny with no mint mark, it's about finding one that's in pristine condition. You want it to be almost perfect, without any wear and tear. You're looking for that flawless penny that hasn't been banged around in your pocket or thrown into a jar of change for years, but here's the catch, these pennies are incredibly hard to find. The US Mint released most of the 2015 pennies with mint marks, so the ones without a mint mark are considered an error. And as with all rare things, error coins can demand a pretty penny, no pun intended. So, what should you look for if you think you've got a 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny sitting in your jar? Well, start by checking the date and inspecting it for that missing mint mark. Then, get a magnifying glass to look for any signs of wear. Ideally, you want a coin that's as close to perfect as possible. Think of it like trying to find the perfect selfie spot. You want the lighting to be just right, no weird shadows, and no awkward angles. If your penny passes the test and is in great condition, you might just have yourself a jackpot. But be careful, counterfeits are out there, and people will try to sell you fake ones. So, make sure you're dealing with a professional who can help you authenticate your coin. Alright, let's wrap this up. Can you believe that a simple penny could be worth $1.1 million? It's crazy, right? It just goes to show that you should never overlook your loose change. Who knows, the next time you dig around in your change jar, you might find something that could change your life. So here's the takeaway, keep your eyes peeled for those special pennies. If you find one that looks a little different, a little off, or maybe a little shiny, even if it's a 2015, don't just toss it. Take a closer look, because it might just be the next big coin find. And hey, if you want to learn more about other coins that could be worth a fortune or need tips on how to spot hidden treasures, make sure to subscribe to my channel. We dive into all kinds of cool coin stories, valuable finds, and strategies to help you become a pro at spotting coins worth money. So, if you found this video helpful or just enjoyed my silly story about the penny I almost threw away, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep discovering those hidden treasures together. Catch you in the next one, and happy coin hunting. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed the video and hit subscribe to stay updated on all the latest coin tips, tricks, and money-making strategies. Who knows? You might just find your own $1.1 million penny soon. Hey there, coin lovers! You might think all pennies are worth just 1 cent, but let me tell you, sometimes a penny can be worth way more than its face value. In fact, did you know there's an amazing 1981 Lincoln penny without a mint mark that can be worth a jaw-dropping $1.20 million? I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? A penny? A 1981 penny? And no, this isn't some misprint. Stick around, because today, we're diving into why this particular penny could be your ticket to a fortune. So grab your magnifying glass, sit tight, and let's unravel the mystery behind the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny and its market value. Alright, let's get into it. Now, when you think of valuable pennies, your mind might jump to the rare stuff from the early 1900s, right? You know, like the 1909 SVDB or the 1943 copper penny. Those are great and all, but I bet you didn't know that your pocket change might just have a hidden gem, like the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Now, if you're wondering why a 1981 penny is so special, you're not alone. The mint marks on coins are usually the key to identifying where they were produced. For example, most of the time, pennies from the US have a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco. But in 1981, for some strange reason, a small batch of pennies was struck without any mint mark at all. These pennies didn't have the usual D or S next to Lincoln's face, they were just blank, and while it might sound like a mistake or a hoopsie, this rare misstep is exactly what makes them so valuable. See, this particular error wasn't widespread, and that's what gives it rarity, the key ingredient in making a coin valuable. Okay, but how did this penny go from being just a lowly cent to being worth $1 million? Well, it all comes down to a couple of factors: rarity, condition, and collector demand. Let's break them down. The 1981 no-mint mark penny is a rare find. These weren't produced in large quantities, and that makes them hard to come by. The US Mint doesn't release official numbers on how many were made, but estimates suggest they're quite scarce. So, if you happen to find one, you're in the money. Literally, like most rare coins, the condition of the penny matters. If you find a 1981 no-mint mark penny in near-perfect condition, it can be worth a lot more than one that's seen better days. Coin collectors aren't just interested in rarity, they also want something that looks almost as good as new. Here's where it gets interesting. Collectors love these types of errors. They're not just looking for rare coins, they're looking for unique mistakes. Imagine having a penny in your collection that shouldn't even exist. For collectors, that's the jackpot. And the more rare something is, the higher the demand, which drives up the price. Now, how do you know if you've got one of these $1 million coins in your change jar? First off, don't just pull a random penny out of your pocket and assume it's worth a fortune. It's gotta have the right features. This is the big one. Look for a penny from 1981 without any mint mark, no D or S on the reverse side, near the bottom. That's your first clue. Is it shiny, or is it so worn out that it looks like it's been through a battle with a washing machine? A clean, shiny penny in mint condition is going to fetch a lot more than a beat-up one. So, here's a little story I'll share with you. Just last month, I was at a flea market, and I found this old jar of pennies for about $5. I didn't think much of it. I was just looking for a good deal. But as I was sifting through the jar, I pulled out a 1981 penny that looked like any other penny. It wasn't shiny, but it wasn't too bad either. My heart skipped a beat when I noticed it had no mint mark. I had to pinch myself. I mean, could this be the one? Was I about to strike coin gold? I ran home and examined it, practically shaking in excitement. But, sadly, the condition wasn't perfect, definitely not mint. It was a little too worn for a $1.2 million price tag, but you better believe I felt like I was holding onto something special. So, if you happen to find a 1981 Lincoln penny with no mint mark in good condition, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $1.2 million. Pretty crazy, right? It just goes to show that the value of coins isn't always about age. Sometimes, it's about rarity, a little mistake, and some serious collector interest. Now, I know what you're thinking: how can I find one of these? Well, the truth is, it's not easy. These pennies are rare, and finding one in great condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. But, hey, there's always a chance. And it's worth keeping an eye out for these little treasures. If you want to learn more about hidden gems in the world of coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends who need to know that their change jar could be sitting on a goldmine. I'm here with all the tips, tricks, and stories that can help you find the next big thing. So, take a close look at your pennies, folks, because the next one you find could change your life. Hey there, coin lovers! Have you ever come across a penny in your pocket and thought, this little thing isn't worth much? Well, think again, because that very penny might just be worth a fortune. You see, there's this rare 1968 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, that's blowing everyone's mind, and it's currently worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into why this penny could be sitting in your pocket, waiting to make you a millionaire. So grab that jar of coins you've been collecting forever, because you might just find your golden ticket. Now, let me tell you something, the 1968 no mint mark penny is one of the rarest finds in the coin world. I'm not talking about your everyday penny that gets tossed around in the bottom of your purse or your couch cushions. This little guy is like the unicorn of the penny world. Here's why. In 1968, the US Mint was cranking out millions of pennies, but there was a slight mix-up. Most pennies from that year have either a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco mint mark. But here's where things get interesting. Some pennies were struck without a mint mark at all, and that's where the magic happens. These mintless pennies are super rare, and they were likely caused by a mistake or oversight at the mint. Think of it like getting a McDonald's Happy Meal toy that's worth more than the meal itself. It's like a coin with a secret superpower. Now, you might be thinking, so what? It's just a coin with no mint mark. But hold on a second. This isn't just some cool little quirk. It's the perfect storm of rarity, timing, and demand that makes this penny worth $1.3 million. In fact, only a few of these rare 1968 no mint mark pennies have been discovered in circulation, which makes them extremely valuable to collectors. And speaking of collectors, here's where it gets a little crazy. A lot of people believe that finding this penny could be like winning the lottery. Imagine you're at a coin shop and you're browsing through some old pennies. You're about to leave empty-handed when bam, there it is, hiding in the corner of a box, glowing with the light of $1.3 million. You'd be staring at that penny like it was your long-lost twin. I mean, who wouldn't want to find a coin that could make your wallet bulge? It's the kind of discovery that could change your life, but don't get too excited yet. I know, we all dream of finding that penny, but it's a little trickier than just picking one up off the sidewalk. You've got to be able to spot it. Here's the key, the 1968 no mint mark penny should have the regular features of the Lincoln penny, but with zero mint mark. So, if you're looking at a 1968 penny and you can't find a D or an S, you might just have something special on your hands. Check the date and the edges to make sure it's authentic, because that's the game changer. No mint mark? You've got a rare find, and don't just take my word for it. There are coin experts out there who will tell you that this penny is one of the most sought after in the world. Collectors have been hunting for this elusive coin for decades, and they're willing to pay top dollar to get their hands on it. Heck, even famous auction houses have sold these rare pennies for insane prices. If you're ever lucky enough to find one, be sure to get it appraised and authenticated, because it could fetch a serious price tag. Let me share a funny story from my own coin collecting journey. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, and I spotted this old jar filled with pennies. The seller was asking for $1, so I thought, why not? I figured there might be a few wheat pennies in there, maybe something I could flip on eBay for a small profit. I threw the jar in my bag and forgot about it for a couple of weeks. Then one day, I decided to go through it. As I was sifting through all these random pennies, I found a 1968 penny without a mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I thought, could this be it? The legendary $1.3 million penny? But, of course, after closer inspection, I realized it was just a regular penny with a little dirt on it. Still, the excitement of finding a rare coin, even if it wasn't the one, made me realize how much fun coin collecting can be. It's like a treasure hunt every time you look through your change. Alright, let's wrap this up. The 1968 no mint mark penny is a true treasure, and if you're lucky enough to find one, you could be looking at a huge payday. But don't let that discourage you, there are plenty of other rare coins out there just waiting to be discovered, and I'll be here to guide you through every step of the way. If you want more tips, tricks, and strategies on finding coins worth big bucks, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. I've got tons of exciting content coming your way that'll help you uncover more hidden gems in the world of coins. So, the next time you're going through your spare change, remember, the tiny penny might just have $1 million secret hidden in it. Keep hunting, keep looking, and who knows? Maybe one day you'll be the one holding the next $1.3 million penny. Hey there, coin lovers! If you've ever dug around your pocket change and thought, I wonder if there's $1 million coin in here? Well, you're not alone. But what if I told you that a coin from 2013, yes, a penny from just a few years ago, could actually be worth $1.4 million? Sounds like I'm pulling your leg, right? But trust me, I'm not. Today, we're going to talk about the 2013 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's causing a buzz in the coin world. And now, before you run off to check your piggy bank, just sit tight, because I'm going to tell you all about this elusive coin, why it's worth so much, and how you might actually find one of your own. Spoiler alert, it's not as easy as finding loose change in your couch cushions, but hey, there's always a chance, right? Okay, let's get into it. First off, I know what you're thinking, 2013? Really? How can a penny from 2013 be worth more than the cost of, well, a penny? I mean, I remember when I used to toss pennies around like they were, well, pennies. But hold your horses, this isn't your average penny. Here's the deal, the 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a rarity. You see, every coin minted by the US Mint should have a mint mark on it. You've probably seen it, those little letters like D or S that tell you where the coin was made. But in 2013, a tiny, mysterious mistake occurred. A handful of pennies were released with no mint mark. These errors were never intended, but as we all know, sometimes mistakes can be a goldmine. Literally. In this case, the reason this penny is worth $1.4 million is because of this rare minting error. You can imagine that finding a coin that shouldn't exist in the first place is like finding a needle in a haystack. The mint was doing its thing, producing pennies left and right, and somehow, a few slipped through the cracks without the usual mint mark. These coins were produced in the Philadelphia Mint, but for whatever reason, they didn't get their stamp of approval. Now, I've got to tell you, this is one of those moments where it pays to be a little obsessive, like me. I'm not ashamed to admit it, I've gone through way too many pennies to count, hoping to find one of these bad boys. And while I haven't struck gold yet, I did once find a coin from 1969 that got me pretty excited for about 5 minutes. It was a small win, but that's the fun part about coin hunting. Every time you sift through your change, it's like opening a tiny treasure chest. You never know what you might find, but back to the 2013 no-mint mark penny. These little guys are the golden geese of the coin world. Right now, they're fetching huge prices. $1.4 million is no joke. But like all valuable coins, it's important to remember a few things if you think you found one. First off, don't get too excited just because your penny doesn't have a mint mark. To be worth that kind of cash, it needs to be in mint condition. We're talking about no scratches, no discoloration. Basically, it should look like it just came out of the mint, even though we know it didn't. The coin's condition plays a huge role in its value, and if you've got a penny that's been hanging out in a jar of loose change for a decade, well, it might not fetch $1 million. The second thing to note is that not every 2013 penny without a mint mark is automatically a $1.4 million gem. A lot of people get caught up in the hype, thinking they've found a treasure, when in reality it's just a regular old penny. But hey, there's no harm in checking, right? Now, before you rush off to your coin collection or dive into your pockets, let's talk about how to spot one of these elusive coins. First, make sure the penny is actually from 2013. Obviously. Look for the absence of the mint mark on the reverse side, just under Abraham Lincoln's image. If it's missing, you're off to a good start. But even after that, you still have to make sure it's in top condition. If it is, you could be holding a coin worth more than your car. Now, here's the kicker, if you do find one, it's important to know how to sell it. You're not going to find a random person on the street who's willing to shell out a cool million for a penny. You'll need to get it professionally appraised and authenticated by a coin grading service, and then you can decide whether to auction it off or sell it through a reputable dealer. So, if you've learned one thing today, it's this: don't underestimate your pocket change. You never know when a mistake like the 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might pop up and make you a fortune. It might take some luck and a little patience, But who knows? Your next trip to the bank or rummaging through old coins could lead to a life-changing discovery. But hey, even if you don't find a $1.4 million penny, that doesn't mean you should stop hunting. The coin world is full of hidden gems, and who knows what you'll find next. Remember, coins like the 2013 no mint mark penny might be rare, but with the right knowledge and a little bit of luck, you could stumble upon something just as valuable. Before you go off on your treasure hunt, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you want more tips on coins worth money, strategies on how to spot valuable coins, and a bit of humor along the way, you've come to the right place. I've got plenty more where that came from. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and happy coin hunting. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled for those rare finds, and who knows, you might just become the next coin millionaire. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your fellow coin collectors. Let's keep the hunt alive, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hey, what's up everyone? You ever heard of a penny that's worth $1 million? No, I'm not talking about the one you find in your couch cushions after a Netflix binge. I'm talking about the 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and trust me, it's got a value that'll make your jaw drop. This little guy could be worth up to $1.5 million. Yeah, you heard me right, a penny, worth more than some houses. So, if you want to know how to spot one of these rare gems, stick around, and let's dive into the wild world of coin collecting. Alright, first things first, let's break down exactly what makes this coin so special. Now, you might be thinking, a penny from 1995? That's not exactly old enough to be considered rare, right? Well, you're not wrong in thinking that it's not ancient, but what sets this penny apart is what's missing, the mint mark. Normally, if you check the back of a coin, you'll see a little letter like D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, indicating where the coin was made. But the 1995 no mint mark penny? That thing doesn't have a mint mark anywhere to be found. It's like a coin without a name tag at a party. You don't know where it came from, and that makes it mysterious and valuable. So, how did this happen? Well, there was a mix-up at the US Mint in Philadelphia, where they accidentally forgot to put the mint mark on some pennies. These are the ones you want to keep an eye out for because they are rarer than a four-leaf clover in a field of threes. You've got a penny that should have had a mint mark, but didn't, making it a mistake coin. And guess what? Mistakes make money. Let me give you a relatable story here. A few years ago, I was rummaging through a box of old coins at a flea market, and I found a penny that looked pretty average. I didn't think much of it, just tossed it in with the rest. Fast forward a few months, and I started doing some research on rare pennies, and bam, I realized I had a penny with a misplaced mint mark. Of course, it wasn't in 1995, but that moment made me realize how easy it is to overlook something valuable if you don't know what you're looking for. So if you're lucky enough to find a 1995 no mint mark penny, don't be like me and toss it in the jar with all the other change. But why are these pennies so valuable? Well, the value comes down to rarity and demand. Since only a small number of 1995 pennies were minted without a mark, they're considered an error, which collectors go wild for. The cool thing is that the value of these pennies can vary depending on their condition. If you've got a pristine example, like one with little to no wear and tear, then you could be looking at some serious cash. But even if it's in rough shape, it's still worth more than the average penny, which is basically pocket change for most of us. Now, let's talk numbers. When it comes to the 1995 no mint mark penny, you're looking at a current market value of around $1.5 million. Yep, million. And if you think that sounds too good to be true, let me remind you that there are people out there who've sold these pennies for crazy amounts. One penny sold for more than $1.5 million at an auction, proving that there are buyers out there who will pay big bucks for these coins. But, of course, it's not as simple as just finding one in your loose change and running to the bank to cash it in. You've got to know what to look for. When you're searching through pennies, keep an eye on the following. That's the biggie. No mint mark equals more value. The better the condition, the higher the price. So, keep your pennies nice and shiny. If you find one of these bad boys, getting it graded by a professional coin grading service is crucial. A certified penny is way more valuable than one that's just tossed in a jar. Another thing to note is that while finding a 1995 no mint mark penny is rare, it's not like finding a needle in a haystack. These coins are out there, people just don't always know what they've got. So, don't just stare at your pennies in despair. Start checking your spare change, dig through old piggy banks, or raid your grandparents' collection, but ask them first, please don't just take it, okay? Alright, let's wrap this up. The 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny might just be the most unsuspecting gold mine you'll find hidden in your pocket. It's a rare and valuable error coin that could potentially fetch you $1.5 million, and if you find one, you could be laughing all the way to the bank. Now, I know what you're probably thinking: how do I get started in collecting these kinds of rare coins? Well, folks, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got tons of tips and tricks to help you become a coin hunting pro, from spotting valuable pennies to learning how to authenticate your coins like a seasoned collector. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin in your collection, or even just want to share a crazy coin story, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for hanging out with me, and remember, the next time you find a penny, you might just be looking at a future fortune. Happy hunting, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on coins worth money. Hey, fellow coin enthusiasts. Have you ever reached into your pocket and pulled out a penny, only to think, meh, it's just a penny? Well, brace yourselves, because that seemingly ordinary penny could be worth a whopping $1.6 million. Yep, you heard that right. Today, we're talking about the 1979 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could make your wildest coin collecting dreams come true. Now, before you start running to check your spare change, let me tell you, this isn't your run-of-the-mill penny you find at the bottom of your laundry basket. This little gem has quite the backstory, and it could just be sitting in your collection waiting to make you a millionaire. Stick around, because we're diving deep into the 1979 Lincoln penny and why it could be worth a fortune. Spoiler alert, it's more than just copper and a date stamp, alright, let's break it down. The 1979 no mint mark penny, or as I like to call it, the hidden treasure of the penny world, is one of those coins that makes you wish you paid more attention to your pocket change back in the day. The key thing about this penny is that it's from 1979, and it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but here's the catch: it doesn't have a mint mark. That's right, no little D or S to tell you where it came from. Just a plain, ordinary-looking penny, but don't be fooled by its simple appearance. In the world of coin collecting, the absence of a mint mark makes it an anomaly, and in turn, that rarity is what's driving its insane market value today. How insane, you ask? Well, we're talking about up to $1.6 million for a coin that's about the size of a thumbnail. I mean, just think about it: if you had a penny worth $1.6 million, would you even trust yourself to spend it on a soda at the gas station? So, why exactly is this penny so valuable? Let's rewind a bit. Back in 1979, the US Mint produced billions of pennies. But when they started producing coins at the Philadelphia Mint, some of the pennies were struck without a mint mark. Most pennies from that year either had the D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco mint marks, but a few slipped through the cracks without any mark at all. And you know what they say: when something is rare, it becomes valuable. And now, I know what you're thinking: how in the world would I know if I have one of these pennies? Well, it's not as difficult as you might think. First, check the date. If it's 1979, you're in the right ballpark. Next, flip that penny over and check the reverse side. Does it have a mint mark? No mint mark? You might be looking at the holy grail of pennies. But hold your horses. The real test is finding one in mint condition. A penny that's been sitting in your pocket for decades, collecting dirt and scratches, isn't going to fetch $1.6 million. No. You want a well-preserved, near-perfect specimen that looks as fresh as the day it was minted. And now, let me share a little personal story about my own penny hunt. One day, I was going through some old coins I'd been collecting over the years, mostly just junk coins I picked up from yard sales or the change jar. I found this one penny from 1979 that had no mint mark. I thought, oh, cool. This could be worth a little something, and stuck it in my maybe someday pile. Fast forward a few months, and I came across a video just like this one, where someone was talking about the exact same coin being worth up to $1.6 million. I had a mini heart attack, immediately checked the condition of mine, and, well, let's just say it wasn't exactly in mint condition. It was a little too worn out from all the years of being tossed around in my back pocket. But hey, it was still an awesome coin, and you better believe I've kept an eye out for any other 1979 pennies since then. So, if you happen to have one of these beauties in good shape, congratulations. But even if your penny is a bit rough around the edges, don't toss it out just yet. There's still hope. Some pennies with unique characteristics, like off-center strikes or doubled dies, can still fetch a nice sum, even if they're not in perfect condition. It's all about finding that sweet spot in the coin market. Now, let's talk about where to sell this penny if you happen to find one. You've got a few options. First off, check out online auction sites like eBay, where coin collectors from all over the world are scouring listings for rare finds. If you're serious about selling, you could also get it appraised by a professional numismatist who can help you get the best price possible. The last thing you want to do is sell it for a fraction of its worth to someone who doesn't know its true value. Trust me, you don't want to be that person who lets a $1.6 million penny slip through their fingers, but let's be real, finding a 1979 no-mint mark penny in mint condition is pretty rare. So, while you might not find one in your coin jar today, it doesn't hurt to keep an eye out. Keep searching your loose change, and who knows, you might stumble upon a valuable penny that could change your life. So, there you have it, the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. It's a coin that looks unassuming but packs a serious punch in the world of rare coins. If you've got one of these hidden treasures in your collection, or if you're ready to start searching, keep your eyes peeled, because you never know when you might discover your very own $1.6 million penny. If you learned something new today and want to hear more about rare coins and how to spot those hidden gems that could make you a fortune, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'll be bringing you more tips, strategies, and fun stories about coins worth money. And hey, if you find a 1979 no-mint mark penny, don't forget to send me a picture. I'd love to see if you've got the real deal. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, your next penny might just be your golden ticket. Catch you in the next video. Hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Imagine finding a penny lying around, thinking it's just a regular, everyday coin. But what if I told you that one of those very pennies could be worth $1.7 million? Sounds like a wild dream, right? Well, buckle up, because we're diving into the world of the 2019 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that's not your average pocket change. This little piece of metal might just be your ticket to a small fortune. Now, I know what you're thinking, a penny? Worth $1 million? Who's pulling my leg? Trust me, this is no joke. Stick with me for the next 20 minutes, and I'll walk you through everything you need to know about this coin, why it's so valuable, and how you might be holding onto one right now without even realizing it. And believe me, you're going to want to stick around to the end, because I've got some insider tips on how to spot these hidden treasures and how you can start building your own coin collection for big bucks. So let's get started. Alright, let's break down what makes the 2019 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth such a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. First off, a little background on the penny itself. In 2019, the US Mint released a standard batch of pennies, just like any other year, featuring good old Honest Abe. But here's the twist, the Mint decided to leave out the mint mark on some of these pennies. Normally, every coin has a mint mark telling you where it was made, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But for this particular year, the lack of a mint mark on some of these coins is what makes them so special. Now, the story behind these unmarked pennies is what really gets interesting. It turns out that only a small number of 2019 pennies were actually struck without a mint mark. This makes them super rare, like finding a unicorn in your backyard, if you will. When something is rare, it automatically gets more valuable. It's like that one vintage comic book your friend found in their attic. Only a few of these coins were made, and not everyone knows about them, but here's the kicker. Rarity isn't the only thing that makes this penny worth $1.7 million. You've got to understand the whole market thing, too. See, coin values aren't just about how rare they are. It's also about condition, demand, and collector interest. Some people are willing to pay a pretty penny, no pun intended, for these rare coins, and once the word got out about the 2019 no-mint mark penny, collectors couldn't get their hands on them fast enough. And boom, we're talking $1.7 million for a coin worth just 1 cent a few years ago. Let me take a quick detour here and share a personal story. I remember a few years ago, I was at a garage sale, just browsing through some random boxes of old stuff, because who doesn't love finding treasures at garage sales? I spotted a jar of pennies, and I thought, probably just a bunch of worn-out coins. But then, something caught my eye. One penny looked a little different. It had that extra shine, almost like it was begging me to take a second look. Turns out, it was a rare mint error. I didn't know it at the time, but it ended up being worth way more than I could have imagined. Point is, sometimes coins that look ordinary are hiding incredible value just beneath the surface. Kind of like this 2019 no mint mark penny.so. How do you spot one of these bad boys? First, look for the date and make sure it's a 2019 penny. Then, check for the mint mark, or lack of one. If it's missing, you've got yourself a potentially priceless coin. But hold on, you're not done yet. It's time to look at the coin's condition. A well-preserved, uncirculated penny will be much more valuable than one that's been through the ringer. So, if your 2019 no mint mark penny looks like it's been kicked around for a few years, it might not be worth as much. But don't worry, you might still be sitting on a gold mine. Now, I get it, you're probably thinking, this sounds too good to be true. I can't just be lucky enough to find one of these rare pennies. But here's the thing, they're out there, and they're waiting to be found. The best part? You don't have to be a professional numismatist, that's a fancy word for coin expert, to spot one. Just keep your eyes peeled and start looking at the pennies in your pocket or collection. You never know what could be hiding in plain sight, so let's recap. The 2019 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is an incredibly rare coin that could be worth $1.7 million, thanks to its unique lack of a mint mark. While most pennies are worth just 1 cent, this one stands out for its rarity and collector demand. If you've got one of these pennies, you could be holding on to a small fortune. And if you're out hunting for hidden gems, remember to check your pockets, flip through old coin jars, and always keep an eye out for those rare finds. And now, before you go running off to check every penny in your change jar, here's the deal, I've got tons of other tips, tricks, and stories to share about coins that are worth big money. If you love finding hidden treasures in your spare change or are just curious about the world of rare coins, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. I'll be posting regular videos with more coin collecting strategies, market updates, and tips on how to make a fortune from your loose change. Trust me, you won't want to miss out.